you guys may be joining us just for the review because we're going to be putting this up as 2 separate videos. So this will be either just a review or it'll be you'll be watching this from the podcast and we'll be going into a review. So if you're here just for the review, guys, as I said, this is part of the podcast. And if you like how this goes, then why not check out the rest of the podcast? It is available now, or it will be available as of the Monday, because the review's going up over the weekend. Podcast will go up on the Monday. But enough of plugging the podcast. The review. So we have spent the last week playing Close to the Sun.
Yes.
I didn't play the game at EGX Res. You did.
I played a small amount of it.
I heard mixed things from Res, that you quite liked one direction it was going, but you were a bit all over the place. But we won't go into our preview too much. We'd go into the review.
Yes.
So I'll give context quickly on what Close to the Sun is, and then we'll chew the fat on it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So Close to the Sun released this week on May the 2nd on Epic Games Store exclusively at the moment.
Yes.
And because you put the key
he gave me the key and I was trying to put it in Steam. And I was like, it's just not working. I was like trying over and over again. I was Googling to make sure I was doing it right. And then I text you be like, it's not working.
Text like 3 hours later going like, oh shit, it's Epic Games Store exclusive.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, for fuck's sake.
So the game is coming to console this year.
Okay.
But at the moment it is only on PC and is Epic Game exclusive. So Close to the Sun, it's developed by Storm in a Teacup and published by Wired Productions. It's a game that follows, let me get my review notes up here. It's a game that follows a woman called Rose, and you are going aboard a ship called the Helios, which is basically owned, run, monopolised by Nikola Tesla.
Yeah.
And you're going aboard this ship because you received a letter from your sister basically asking you to come and visit. So you go onto the ship. Instantly, there's been so many comparisons with this game to Bioshock. The only comparison is the way it looks. Like,
I disagree.
Okay, we'll get to that in a minute. Yeah. So there's been lots of comparisons to Bioshock. You arrive at Helios, and within like 20 minutes, you soon realise that this is not... Shit's gone down.
Something's gone tits up.
Yeah, something's not gone right, and the game goes from there. The synopsis on Epic Games Store or anywhere else calls it a story-driven first-person horror adventure game. Now, we're going to touch on the horror stuff throughout the review.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
But that's what Close to the Sun is. Let's dive into it. Let's kick off with gameplay. Story. Let's go with story first.
Can I just mention what, the
Bioshock? Go for it.
It looks a lot like Bioshock because it uses
so much like
that Art Deco.
Has that like 1930s but sci-fi look to it.
Like, there's something going on there.
Like you get an earpiece straight at the beginning.
Yeah.
You put in, which would never be available in the 1930s.
Exactly. They have this technology that shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
But it looks relative to that time they're in.
It looks good. Like
it's a really nice looking game. There's some really good visuals in here. There's like some really stunning stuff. The theatre, by the way, I was like, this is gorgeous.
Yeah. No, the visuals of the game. Let's kick off the way it looks and then the atmosphere.
Yeah. I mean, visually, it's very Bioshock in that sense, but it's like everything's so well designed. The environment's well designed. It all looks great, and when you're exploring everything, it kind of all makes sense.
It did. It did. I'm not trying. I'm just playing devil's advocate a little bit here. So one thing, as soon as you call okay, so we should probably kick off by saying when they say story-driven adventure game, they basically mean you can call it one of two things: a narrative adventure or a walking sim. That's basically what this game is kind of falling into.
Essentially, yeah.
Now, as soon as you put yourself in that bracket, you're comparing yourself to the likes of Tacoma in my books. Now, what?
Well, Tacoma's a floating sim, so
what companies like Fulbright do so well, and what I love about those games, same as Everyone's Gone to Rapture, is the environmental storytelling. I go into a room, I haven't got to read anything, but I know there was a domestic fight in here, because the way a bottle's over here, the way this is
you
here,
start Sherlocking the whole place.
But that
clues,
is good game design. Tacoma done it so well. I felt like as pretty and as nice as this game was, the kind of pure littering of bodies and blood and horror aesthetic took away from some what could be good environmental storytelling.
Ironically, it's something Bioshock did amazingly.
Okay.
Bioshock's environmental storytelling is phenomenal. It's like you don't have to, you see all this stuff around and you can tell, you can sort of tell what's happened.
Yeah.
And then obviously you pick up I forgot what they're called in Bioshock, the recordings.
Just the audio logs.
Yeah, audio logs, and they would always, if you listen to them, they line up with what you've been seeing, and it's all really good. This is as a smattering of that. Instead of audio logs, it's a lot of letters. And...
Yeah, the so the collectibles things are very inconsistent. You have so like
they change per chapter.
Yeah, they change per chapter.
Yeah.
And one chapter, for example, you find these masks, masquerade ball masks, literally mean feckle. It's like, this is what a security guard would wear on the ship. This is
weird mask.
This is what a research. This isn't telling me a story, but other
rubbish.
times
Yeah.
you find room keys that genuinely let you into people's rooms, and that's where the environment storytelling then comes in.
Look through their belongings. Yeah.
There's one real cool scene where so you go into a room and it looks like there's something on the. It looks like there's a body on the bed, basically.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go anymore.
I thought I imagined that. I was glad
and
you
then,
noticed that.
and then I got closer and I was like, oh, it's not. It's the pillows.
It's a bunch of pillows.
And
yeah.
then something happened. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
like,
it was. I thought the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought. Oh shit. And then I was like, oh, it's just pillows.
Yeah.
That was one of that whole scene. After that is actually one of the best parts of the game. For
that
me.
is
It has good impact.
chapter 3 is probably one of the standout chapters of the game.
I will say Helios, the ship, is Rapture in every way.
Basically, yeah.
It's not in just the way it looks, in what it is.
Yeah.
Rapture was a safe haven for science where there was no regulations. You could do what you want. Helios is the exact same
the
thing.
same. Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. And what a surprise science has run amok.
Yeah.
But instead of chemistry, like it is in biology, in Rapture, here it's physics.
Physics.
Has run amok.
So basically, we'll go on to the kind of story stuff in a bit, but this isn't really a spoiler because you find out within the first kind of hour.
Probably
of the game.
less than that.
Probably less than that. But basically what's happened is there's been a tear in time. Some experiments happened. We won't say more than that. A tear in time. So as soon as I found that out as a player, I was like, sweet. They can go anywhere now. This, like,
I felt exactly the
intrigue was flying because I'm like, okay, a tear in time could literally be anything. And it's pretty soon you realise, like, again, within like 25 minutes, that when you speak to your sister, she didn't actually send you this letter. It was sent by another one in time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's kind of a spoiler, but...
Well, no, because like 25 minutes, she's like, I didn't invite you here.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, she's like,
I'm thinking of something,
Yeah, she's like, I didn't invite you here. And she's like, I got a letter from you. And she's like, oh no, this must be something to do with time. And that's when you go...
she's like involved in all that.
Yeah, and that's when you go, what? And that's when it kind of starts playing on time manipulation. Mm-hmm. Which is a great... The intrigue, straight away from the first 2 hours of the game, I loved. I genuinely loved it. Like, I loved playing through it.
So I've got a bit of a contrast to you. As much as I was like, the first 2 hours, I was like, this is all right. But it wasn't until I got past that hump of the first 2 hours where I started to enjoy it. Not because story-wise, I was getting more and more intrigued in the first 2 hours, but gameplay-wise, for the first 2 hours, I didn't really know what I was playing.
Yep. And the chapters are very short at the beginning.
Yeah, there's like the first 3 chapters are like done in seconds.
Yeah.
And then like suddenly you have like, there's 2 middle chapters that go on for quite a long time. Yeah. And then the last chapters will go quite quickly. Yeah. The last like 3 or 4 chapters go really quickly.
It's very much a beginning, middle, and an end.
Yeah. But yeah, once I got over that hump of realising what the gameplay was, like I was like, oh, so you've got bits like this, and bits like this.
Yeah.
I was like, I sort of sunk into it a bit better, and I was like, okay, I know what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
But with that, I was far less engrossed in the atmosphere.
Yes.
Because I was immediately comfortable. I was like, okay, well, I know this isn't going to happen because I know I'm not in this kind of part of the game.
Yeah.
So that was, it's kind of a downside. It's kind of an upside because it's a personal thing possibly because I'm a bit of a pussy.
I think, no, because I think you're right because, so as much as I can't deny, I really enjoyed the first 2 hours. Like, really enjoyed. I didn't. I'll go into this more detail again as it goes on, but I didn't dislike the remaining of the game, but there's certain things that kept grating on me. But
can you give an example without saying spoilers?
Yeah, well, we'll get into it in a minute, but like the chase sequences were just so bad.
Right.
They just ruined it for me. And there were some things where I was just like, why are you making us do this? It's just not fun. But I'll get into that in a bit. But one thing I didn't enjoy, not enjoy, one thing I found very boring throughout the whole game is its horror elements.
Yes.
Like, the game, because it's labelled itself as this horror adventure, it almost feels like it has to try and scare you. And it does, I'm not kidding, the cheesiest and, quite honestly, some of the worst jump scares
very obvious
I have ever seen in a game.
I thought this was going to be an Amnesia-style game. Remember when I played
Yeah.
the bit at Res, I thought, oh, I can close doors behind me. So I was like, okay, so it's going to be like an amnesia sort of thing. It's not at all.
Well, again, not a spoiler. You can die in the game. There are things that can kill you in the game.
Die,
but the game...
It's not worth anything.
The issue I had was, the way it tries to build up tension is through these chase sequences, which I'll get onto after this point.
Yeah.
What it lacked was an element of stealth sequence. Like, I want that...
But you think it's going to happen.
Yeah. You think it's going to happen towards the end of chapter 3.
Yes.
And you're like, oh, okay, this is cool.
Yeah.
And then it goes into a chase sequence. And now these chase sequences are... I'll try and put one up on the screen now so you guys can see what's going on with it. They don't run very well. I found them very choppy.
Weirdly, they're some of the most choppy parts.
They are choppy.
I don't understand why.
And I'm running on a PC that can run pretty much any game. I'm playing Destiny on it on almost max settings.
Yeah.
And this game is struggling on the chase sequences.
I can't explain why.
And you had the same, didn't you?
I had the same thing. It's like 90% of the game runs fine. And so
just the chase sequences.
Like yeah, it was.
There was a couple of other parts.
It was mostly the chase sequences. There was a few other small parts where you go into random rooms that... You've been in like bigger, more complex rooms, but you go in a small room and suddenly you're like, what's going on here?
But the chase sequence is basically, it comes up with a tiny little word saying run.
Yes.
And you basically just run. You hold down
Shift,
W, and you run and you move the mouse. Now that's fine. The issue comes when you get to an obstacle.
Which you have to leap over.
You have to leap over. Now, I only realised after about 5 hours attempts you can press spacebar to leap over it. But doesn't work any much better. So basically,
it's the same as
the issue is you can click with the mouse on the icon to leap over it, which you have to smash the hell out of to try and get it.
You have to be in a very specific position.
Well,
I have found times where I had to go back to get into the right position.
This is the issue. When you use spacebar, you have to be basically on the object.
Yeah.
Now, when you hit the object, obviously you stop running. These chase sequences, you're often so close, the people so close behind you, you stop for a split second.
You're done.
It's done.
Yeah.
I'm talking, the first chase sequence you guys just saw, I've had to play probably 10, 12 times.
I played it probably about 6 times.
Not because I was bad at the game, because it wouldn't do what I knew I had to do.
There was a specific obstacle in that one that I couldn't get over.
And also, some of the later chase sequences, what really annoyed me is, you have no idea where you're going. And it's almost like you're like... Well,
it's very true.
And then you're running for 30 seconds.
Trial and error.
You run into a wall. Oh, I'm dead now. I've got to do this all again.
Yeah.
And these sequences are sometimes like a minute long. So remembering your way through the maze...
They reload fairly fast.
Yeah,
it's not instant, but
after
it's not slow.
6, 7, 8 times doing it, frustration is like...
frustrating.
I just want to fucking get past this bit now. I know I'm not dying because I'm not good. I'm dying because you've made a bullshit mechanic.
Yeah.
Like, do you guys not have playtesters? As a devs never played a game and thought, this isn't fun? This doesn't fit in with any of the other part of the game. It tries to build tension, and it just builds frustration, in my opinion.
The thing is, the first chase scene, I was a little bit tense, and then I died, and I was like,
You lose fear.
I was like, I died. Yeah. And then after that, I was like, okay, whatever. It became just a bit of a chore, as opposed to, I didn't feel like, oh, fuck, I've got to get away.
Yeah.
Because I was like, well, I'll just try again.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, it was frustrating that I couldn't get over shit. But I wasn't like, freaking out. I was just like, oh, fuck's sake. I can't get this fucking chair for some reason.
Yeah. If I'm being brutally honest, I think that these chase sequences, in my opinion, are the worst parts of the game.
Yeah, they almost definitely are.
There's one other thing that really irritates me.
I wonder if it's the same thing that irritates me.
And this is, like,
the
most basic of fucking stop-and-go puzzle systems. So there's a part, for example, where there's like lightning on the floor, and you have to stop at it.
Oh, right.
You have to wait.
Do you hate that?
And you have to go forwards, and you have to. It adds nothing to the game.
Yeah, it's.
It goes. Oh, we've gone from. So the game It took me about 7 hours to finish.
Yeah.
And it goes from. Oh, we've got a 6.5 hour game to a 7 hour game now. Like it doesn't add anything to the story.
But it just forces you to wait, so the game seems longer.
Oh, it's just so.
That's like a mechanic from Game Boy Advance.
But it's so. Do you not agree?
It's stupid. Yeah,
it doesn't fit in. You're in this story part. There's one part where there's this big machine around you. You're hearing noises. Is all I'm going to say.
Yeah,
it's quite. I was actually quite excited because you got this guy on the radio who's telling you what to do.
Yeah,
and you're going down, and then you get to these like coils. That's no spoiler. They're Tesla coils.
This is the first time you get to this
and
bit,
you and then you're trying to get through this part, but you're stopping and going.
And
stop
this
in
puzzle,
and go.
this exact
And stop
puzzle reappears
and go.
later in the game.
And stop in and go. And then by the time you get to me, you're like, oh yeah, I was doing this now. Like, it added nothing to the game.
There was no puzzle in this game where I was really trying to think about it.
There was one that I didn't have to think about, but I enjoyed it. And it's the one you didn't do because you didn't get into the extra room.
Right, but I'll say actually, I'll take it back. There was one, but it wasn't even a puzzle for the game. It was an Easter egg.
What was that? Is it going to be a spoiler?
I
Was it the one with the objects where you had to... No, because you had to do that.
don't know if it is a spoiler. I guess it is if you want to do it yourself. It's did you go into the room and then there was like code?
Yes.
On
And
there's a letter on the desk.
Yeah.
Completely written in code.
Yeah.
And you could, if you wanted to, you could sit there and figure out what it says.
Did you figure it out?
Yeah.
I didn't figure it out.
Well, I've got a picture of it, so I won't say what it is, but I'll show you what it says.
Okay.
So that you don't have to do it yourself.
I like that. There was another puzzle where you could get into an additional room for more storytelling.
Yeah.
And it was like a poem about like a farmer, like some wolves eat sheep, and then a farmer sets a dog for wolves, and then you had to do a puzzle based around that with symbols, and that was
probably the other than the code, that was the most difficult one.
Yeah. It wasn't.
It wasn't hard.
There was most puzzles are moving from one point to another point, one point to another point.
Yeah.
And that's not. I'm not sitting here. That's really cool.
Yeah.
That is cool. I'm amazed you sat down and done that.
I thought, you know what? Fuck it. I want to figure this out.
Yeah.
Because it might be. I was hoping it would be like a really interesting story thing, and it's not. No spoilers. It's not a story thing. Do it if you want, because it was. It was challenging.
Yeah.
It was a bit of work, but it's not a story thing. It's not necessary at all.
I like it.
Yeah.
But no, so I don't want to sit here and. I feel like I'm now completely crapping on the game. Like, take the chase sequences aside and take the stop and go 1980s puzzles aside. Like, the puzzles aren't okay. They don't offer much challenge, but they fit in with the environment. They fit in with the world.
I'm not
and
slamming them. They're just not very
they're
challenging.
perfectly fine. So, I mean, that kind of covers most gameplay stuff. Let's go into the story.
Right.
So we're going to be again as spoiler free as possible. We're not going to speak about endings. We will talk about how the ending maybe made us feel.
That's something I do want to say.
But we're not going to talk about endings. We're not going to talk about.
We're not going to mention specifics.
All the story spoilers we've said are what we've said so far. So, how did you feel the game lent itself as a story-driven game?
It lends itself very well until you get to the end.
Yes, I'll give you that.
Which it's again, I'm going to be extremely vague. I'm not going to be specific about anything, but it's building stuff up that doesn't pay off.
It feels like that anyway. Yeah,
I think it is that.
It feels it. I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's building. Okay, yeah, it's building stuff up.
No, but it's shoving it in your face.
I feel more like it offered the potential to do so much.
Yeah, then they do nothing.
But then done very little.
Yeah,
that's what I felt like the story done.
Other stuff was I was really enjoying the story until the very end, and it leaves you sort of feeling like, is that it? Like, it's done now.
Yeah.
I thought maybe I missed something.
It is. Yeah, it's. I almost. So it's that classic ending where you almost like, is there going to be a sequel? Like, I
guess kind of. Yeah.
I feel like answers were definitely answered.
Some answers,
but there are a
lot of loose
ends.
Yeah.
And this isn't a game that has lots of branching storylines. It's not Heavy Rain. You can't go back and find out.
You never get like choices of where to go, and it's
not at all.
Which I have nothing against.
You can unlock extra rooms to find out more behind a certain character,
but it's purely optional.
But that is purely optional. Yeah. That is not driven down there.
You don't have to search every room and read every letter, even though I did that because it was interesting.
This is what I said when I reviewed Tacoma.
Yeah,
I said, okay, I'm the kind of player that I literally look in every corner and I try to find everything.
Yeah, I'm scared of missing stuff.
Reviewing Tacoma as a player who would go from A to B and no diversion, is it still a game that I enjoy? Hell yes, it is.
I assume
there's a great story there.
I couldn't tell you myself.
I don't know if this is. That's the thing. Like,
that's a really good point. I wonder if having not done what I did, would it be anywhere near as good?
I don't know if it would. Like, I found a room that you didn't find, and I was telling you about it, and you're like, oh, I didn't find that room.
You've reminded me of something.
Go for it.
There's no save feature.
That caught me out twice.
Same. exactly the same.
And it saves, warning, it saves on chapters.
Yes.
So it saves at the start of a chapter. So many chapters are an hour long.
Yeah, and you just can't save in between. So if
No.
you stop playing, you've got to go back to the beginning of the chapter.
Yes.
Which I did twice. First time really fucked me over.
Yeah, I was like towards the end of chapter 4, which is one of the long ones.
Yeah, it was 3 for me, and it was the rooms. I
my
unlocked
God.
a whole bunch of the people's rooms.
Yeah.
And I searched a lot of them, and then I was like, oh, I should go to bed. It's like almost 12 o'clock. I've got work tomorrow, so I turned it off, thinking, I can't save, so it must have auto saved. And then I came back the next day.
There is no save. Just point out, not only no autosave, there is no save.
There's no save at all.
No.
You cannot save. When you press escape, you've got options, resume,
Collectibles.
main menu.
Oh no, that's tab. Sorry, yeah,
Yeah.
Options, resume, main menu.
And that's what I did. I clicked main menu, assuming that would be like, okay, well, it'll save on its own. But because of that, when I came back and played it back through that chapter again, I didn't unlock all the rooms again because I was just powering through, speedrunning it, trying to get to where I was.
Yeah,
and it happened again later
no,
on. But
it
thankfully, it was a much shorter chapter when it happened again.
Yeah, no, definitely. So I mean, I feel like we've covered quite a lot of the game.
Yeah,
and we can't go into much more without spoiling stuff. So I'll kick off because I kind of thrown this on you. Think of just a 30-minute wrap-up conclusion spiel on your behalf.
Right.
So if someone was to ask me now, what do you think is Close to the Sun? Should I buy it? I would say that Close to the Sun is an interesting story-driven game.
Yeah.
It offers a really nice environment and world to go through. If you like Bioshock in terms of visuals, you're going to really enjoy this. Ignore it as a horror game. Please ignore it as a horror game. Yes, it has thriller moments. It has moments that are tense. It has moments that will make you jump because they're classic jump scares. But you're not like, oh my god, that was great. They're quite cheesy and quite cheap. The actual story of the game does drop off, definitely towards the closing chapters, or the closing chapter.
It's not literally the last chapter.
But as an overall game, that to play, I wouldn't not recommend it. That's for sure. I wouldn't turn around and say don't ever play that game. I wouldn't go out and say spend 25 quid on the game right now to go and play it as of day one. But if you like the narrative adventure games, if you like story-driven games, there's an environment to explore there. There are some basic puzzles to solve. There you are rewarded by solving some extra puzzles and finding some extra rooms, and all that stuff does lend it into its being a good game. Effectively, it's a good game. I can't deny that. Take out the chase sequences. Don't expect the game to save itself, and you've got a better game there. But overall, Close to the Sun, I'm happy with the way. I'm not happy. I'm happy with the way it started. I'm happy with what this story was offering. I'm not so happy with how it wrapped itself up.
I pretty much essentially agree. If it's like 15-ish quid, it's definitely worth it.
Yeah.
It's good, but it's not amazing, and it's a little disappointing in what I was expecting. Maybe I was expecting too much, to be fair.
No, the game does offer the limitless potential, basically.
Yeah.
And then stays very shallow on it.
It does, yeah.
It's very...
There's enough to read. There's enough to explore.
Yeah.
Especially for a linear game. In that sense, it is like Bioshock. There are rooms you can explore that are relevant, essentially. I would say, if you like these kind of games, if you like the narrative adventure / walking sims, it's worth playing.
Yeah.
Because that is basically what it is.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Voice acting is very good in it, I will say that.
True. That's something. A bit weird.
And music. I like the music in it.
Music, which I like the song at the end.
Music was very good, yes.
Yeah.
Music was very good.
It was very good. There's an original song, which is quite unusual for an indie game.
Yeah.
Did you find the language they used was very modern?
Yes.
Which is fine. I just thought that was going to come into play at some point.
And there's a lot of swearing at the end that come out of nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some guy constantly saying shit, and I was like, you've not sworn once the whole game, and now you're saying shit.
Swearing. There's a lot of like, my bad, and look at all this shit. Yeah, like, did they say this back then? They said this kind of stuff?
But no, that wraps up. And if you're looking for a score, guys, sorry, for Incredible, we dropped review scores about 2-3 months ago. It is very much we're going to actually play the whole game, unlike a lot of channels do. We're going to play the game, and we're going to sit down, and we're going to have a deep conversation on actually what the game is. So that's what we thought to Close to the Sun. Let us know.
Maybe do a spoiler talk at some point.
Yeah, we'll definitely maybe at some point. I don't know.
We
definitely do one. Definitely let us know, or let us know in the comments below if you're going to pick it up. Let us know in the comments below if this review's actually helped make a decision on it. Or if you're playing the game, let us know in the comments below what you're thinking to it. Again, please keep it spoiler free. But that's going to wrap up the Indie Critical podcast, guys. Obviously, if you are here for the review, thank you for watching. Why not check out the rest of the podcast? If you were here for the podcast, then that's it. We're going to wrap it up there, guys.